Hey, 7th grade, this is Mrs. Yeagle, and I want to read to you the first nonfiction passage for Unit 1 assessment that we will be taking tomorrow. You will get a copy of this tomorrow with the test, but I thought this way you could read it ahead of time. So it is called The Civil War Begins. The Confederate attack on Fort Sumter in Charleston, South Carolina ended months of confusion. The nation was officially at war. The time had come to choose sides. For most whites in the South, the choice was clear. Early in 1861, representatives from 6 of the 7 states that had seceded from the Union met to form a new nation called the Confederate States of America. Southerners believed that just as the states had once voluntarily joined the Union, they could voluntarily leave it now. The men who fought for the South were proud defenders of Southern independence. For many Northerners, the choice was just as clear. There can be no neutrals in this war, declared Senator Stephen Douglas after the attack of Fort Sumter. Only patriots or traitors. Most Northerners viewed the secession of Southern states as a traitorous act of rebellion against the United States. They marched off to war eager to defend what they saw as their Union, their Constitution, and their flag. Choosing sides was harder for the 8 slave states located between the Confederacy and the Free States, because they had ties to both sides. 4 of these states, Virginia, Arkansas, Tennessee, and North Carolina, joined the Confederacy. The western counties of Virginia, however, remained loyal to the Union. They broke away to form a new state called West Virginia. Although the other 4 slave states, Delaware, Maryland, Kentucky, and Missouri, stayed in the Union, many of their citizens were sympathetic to the South. These states, along with West Virginia, became known as the border states. As Americans took sides, they began to see why a civil war, a conflict between 2 groups of citizens in one country, is the most painful kind of war. This conflict divided not only states, but also families and friends. Most of America's best military officers were Southerners who chose to fight for the Confederacy. At the start of the war, about 1/3 of the military officers resigned and returned to their homes in the South. This was not an easy decision for many of them. Colonel Robert E. Lee, for example, was not a supporter of either slavery or secession, but he decided that he could not fight against his native Virginia. Lee resigned from the U.S. Army to become Commander-in-Chief of the Confederate forces. That passage was adapted from the TCI textbook.
With the acting.